Yo, what's the word? So, I just wanted to talk about finding your authentic self. Growing up as kids, we were in the most authentic form, the most genuine form, very loving, very kind, very ambitious, very delusional, everything like that. And that's how human beings are supposed to be. That's how we're meant to operate, the free, loving energy. We're in the highest of vibration, thinking we can accomplish anything. Because when we were younger, a lot of us all had goals, saying we wanted to do this and that, we wanted to be this, we wanted to be that. But then along the line, life happened and we had to conform. We had to go through different, processes that just made us into who society wanted us to be. We're conditioned to think a certain way. You had to drop certain things. You can't act this way. You can't act that way. In certain environments, you don't act a certain way. And over time, us going through those conditioning has beat down our authentic self to the point where we don't even have full control or full power of who we are, because we start to forget those little things. Those little things really matter for real. Like those little things about us that just kept the spark going, just having passion, just having ideas every day. We always thought about the wildest of things. We always wanted to be out there. But then when the more you start growing up, the more you start to see different systems and organizations that will condition you to think a certain way in certain aspects. If it's school, you act a certain way in school. If it's a job, you act a certain way while working in the organization. So over time, those avatars you start to pick up, it becomes part of you without you even knowing it. And you start to embody images of yourself you don't resonate with. And the authentic self starts getting pushed down because you keep enforcing this fake persona on top of the authentic self. And the more you do that over time, you kill the authentic self. That's why most people just live very repetitive lives as adults, because they just do the same thing, wake up, go to jobs, go do this, go do that. No creative spark, no ambition, no drive. Even the ones that have ambitions, society will try to kill it out of them, because if you're trying to focus on one idea, you got to deal with this, you got to deal with certain things, you got to deal with a whole lot of things that just makes you reconsider it. So you got to have a mind of steel to be able to chase your dreams in this generation. And so many factors like that. And I'm just bringing it back to myself, because I realized, like, growing up, I was very, very passionate. I was very, very high energy, very optimistic. I was very creative, but then I didn't lose the creative spark. I made sure I never lost that, because that's what made me just stay in tune with myself, regardless of whatever was happening. Like, I could be going through the most, in the most, in the most circumstances, yeah, right? But then just knowing I'm creative enough to still express myself, that's one thing I never let go of. And over time, I realized, like, my creative process changed, because what I was creating, it became very dark, like very dark. That people would question me, like, bro, what's going on with you, bro? You good? You straight? But then I didn't realize that was me fighting with my authentic self, because I had to conform in certain places, even in college. When I was in college, I had I was perfectly just fine, because I wasn't too outgoing like that. I was always staying to myself. I just knew a lot of people, but then I knew nobody, that type of situation. So I was just like the popular loner that I'll relate with people, but then I'm always by myself, or just walking by myself, till I started having these roommates. Then I thought it was cool, but then I always knew I was different amongst everybody I found myself around, because I never saw life the way they did, and I had to tone it down. I don't know why I had to tone it down, but then I had to tone it down so I wouldn't seem like I was acting better than them, or I felt like I was better than them. So the moment I kept toning it down, they still felt some type of way. because they could see the real me, and they're like, bro, why you trying to fake it and kick it with us when you know you're not even supposed to be here? You feel me? That type of situation. So I just realized, like, even older people, the way they would act around me, they would give me that respect. But then I just peeped it. I never knew why it was like that till one incident that happened with my roommates at that time. Like, it just became very apparent we couldn't stay on the same vibration because they would always do some funny shit, and I wasn't into that shit because I always stood my ground. I always had morals and stuff like that. And when they seen I wouldn't budge, they would they would get angry, want to fight me and stuff like that. So it even got to crazy at one point where they actually fought with me. It was like a whole, like, just them against me. Till, this is a very funny story. Till one specific night, they tried to fight with me. Then the entire dorm, literally everybody got involved. And the people that fought for me, I thought they was my friends at that time. So I'm like, okay, bet. I know these people don't fuck with me, so everybody else that came to fight for me, they fuck with me for real. So I started gravitating towards those people. And fast forward a couple years, those same people that fought for me, when they got to know me, they started hating on me for real. Like, it's crazy how this shit always plays out that way. So it's like a cycle. Like, they would tell me, like, this one particular person that I thought was really for me, this dude really told me he wasn't, like, he made it very apparent he didn't want me to succeed. Like, he's told me that shit to my face. So I'm just like, bet, it is what it is, man. Like, I know I can vibrate around people that's not even on my wavelength, because I always just try to tone it down so I can maybe have friends, maybe just socialize. But then at the end of the day, bro, it was always the same circumstances. So I'm just like, okay, let me just take a moment and just stay by myself and find my true self. I didn't even do it consciously. I just did it subconsciously because I'm like, bro, all this going on around me, I can't keep dealing with that. So might as well just stay in isolation and just figure out life in general. And within the process of that, because I wasn't surrounded by a lot of people's opinions, everybody was always telling me I gotta go in this direction, I gotta go in that direction, see if I want to survive, if I want to do this or that. So I would always listen because the persona I try to embody already was killing my authentic self. So I had no willpower for myself to say, no, that's not for me, or that's for me. You feel me? So I just kept listening to everybody and nobody. So the more I kept doing that, I kept forcing my authentic self down till I just couldn't take it no more. Like, I just had to go through one specific incident that just made me realize, like, bro, I don't got to deal with a whole lot of shit, bro. Like, I don't got to deal with people. I don't got to deal with situations. I don't got to deal with circumstances, because I know myself. Like, I know what I'm supposed to do. I know what I'm passionate about. I know where I'm meant to go. So me trying to, like, play with everybody, me trying to be around everybody for no reason, thinking I might need them, just made me realize they don't even value me as much, because they always looked at me as competition. So I'm like, okay, I gotta figure this shit out by myself. So that's why I just started doing things my way. I started choosing my own path. I started doing things my way. Like, I cut everybody off. I don't really care about nobody's opinion. I don't really care to be friends with everybody, because at the end of the day, I know they always looked at me as somebody that was different, that was meant to do better things. But then the fact that I was always trying to blend in, trying to shrink myself so I can fit in, they just saw me as being fake. And over time, when I started realizing it, I didn't even know I was being fake towards myself. So I just had to snap out of it. And ever since, I've just been very authentic. I've had to go through a spiritual awakening. So I just had to wake up to the realization that these people don't really fuck with me like that. They're just looking at me, as competition, studying the competition, trying to know what I got going on, try to figure out what I got going. But then they never supported me. I'll tell them, like, bro, let's do this, let's do that. They think I'm being delusional because they don't see things from my perspective. They don't see the potential that we have as human beings to accomplish whatever we put our minds to. So when I say let's do certain things, bro, literally I told these people bro, let's start a business. Let's do this. Let's do that. We can do this within a certain period of time. They looked at me crazy, bro, because they kept listening to like they wasn't thinking from my perspective because they didn't know or they don't know how much power they have to accomplish whatever they put their minds to. But then I know the amount of power we have as human beings. That's why I decided to take the lonely road. Like regardless of whatever people think, I know I'm gonna keep chasing my dreams. I know I'm gonna start whatever I want to start because at the end of the day, I know where I'm heading. I know what I could do. And there's a saying that goes, "As within, so without." So ever since I had like the spiritual awakening, I've just been tapping into my inner child, that authentic self, that passionate self, that creative self, that high energy self I always was as a child. Now I'm bringing it back, but as an adult. And ever since I've been like that, bro, my confidence has been A1. My perspective has been clear. My mentals has been clear, bro. Like I know how to control my thoughts now. I know what I'm thinking. I know when I'm thinking about what I'm not supposed to be thinking about, and I can instantly correct that and know this ain't meant to be. You're not supposed to be thinking like that because thoughts create reality. And the more oh shit, the video cut off. But yeah, I was just trying to, just preach the message of just be yourself. Don't forget who you are. You're a god. You're a goddess. You know, claim your true power. Never let people beat the authentic self out of you, regardless of whatever you go through. Never let it get to you, bro, because yourself being yourself is your superpower, man. Most talented people you have today, they're talented because of themselves, bro, because they're themselves. Celebrities, actors, not actors though, because they act in another persona. Artists, rappers, they're telling their stories. Painters, they paint their emotions. Podcasters, they're talking about their experiences. So you can get paid for being yourself and never forget that. Just be you.